What's up everybody, Bloodshed here. Today I want to talk about 5 farms you can do before World of Warcraft Legion. Now a lot of you are returning to the game just like myself, so there's so much information on the internet, like so many different ways you can farm gold by playing the garrison, playing the auction house, playing the players, right? So what I did was I did a bunch of research and I just took 5 farms that I use and kind of simplified it for myself, and I thought I would share it with you guys today. So let's get started. Alright, coming up next we have the Azzurri Whelping farm. Now there's lots of profitable whelping farms in the game: the Crimson Whelping, the Bronze Whelping, the Emerald Whelping, Whelping. This one in particular is my favorite because you can get Essence of Undeath. Now these essences sell for 250 gold right now on my server. For the main reason is that they're using the Tome of Illusions for the expansion. Pretty much everybody's going to want all the Tome of Illusions eventually, so they're not going to go to waste, right? It requires about 5 essences per tome, and yeah, I get about 20 an hour, 20-ish an hour depending on RNG here. You're going to need server hop, right? And I'm going to put all the add-ons and everything I recommend down below in the description. As far as I know, this is a world drop in winter spring, right? The Azzurri Whelping. But I like to farm specifically these undead mobs for the Essence of Undeath is what we're talking about. You can farm all the mobs in the area, right? Like there's these little like undead elf dudes somewhere over here, like so. Wretched spirit, right? You can farm these guys. I pretty much just stay around the building. I don't know why. This is just my area, right? I like to come here, lock it down, and farm me some essences. And yeah, it's like a dual farm. So this is why I like it. I get immediate gold right now. So I get essences, which, you know, I get about 2 to 3k per hour just from the essences. And if the Azzurri Whelping drops, I get 25k plus. Now there's a pet event going on right now, so I can level it 1 to 25, you know, in like 10 minutes. And I can sell it for even more. So there's lots of ways you can make money. And yeah, this is my absolute favorite farm, and this is why it's coming in at number 1. It's just a dual farm. No matter what happens, if you don't get the whelping, you still get about 2 to 3k. You get mage weave and other things like that. And if you run out of mobs or there's high competition here, all you got to do is server hop. And again, server hop is super easy to use. Once you install it, it just chills right here. Let me drag it so you guys can see it. All right, and you literally just hit next. It'll send you to the next available realm. So just like that, we're on Kill Jaden, and yeah, you can farm away, right? And this is pretty much one of the best tools using server hop that you can have, just because you're going to be jumping around and you pretty much have an infinite supply of mobs as long as the add-on exists in the world, right? So there you have it, the Azzurri Whelping / Undead Essences farm in Lake Kilthirl. All right, coming up next at number 2, we have Zilpha Rock, right? Amazing transmog gear, anywhere from 10 to 100k depending on your drops. Lots and lots of potential here. With the upcoming transmog system, you can definitely score big. Just a lot of good drops overall. One of the most solid farms that I've found. It's funny that this is number 2 because there's also 2 ways you can farm this. You can legit go right into the instance and you can pull everything, right? You're going to be level 100 most likely, or level 90 or whatever. They're not going to hit you. You can use just about any class for this. You want to go ahead and pull everything. You can use non-damaging abilities to group them up, like Fairy Fire if you're a druid, or if you're a hunter you can use like Tranquil Shot and Tranquilizing Shot, and just whatever you have just to pull the mobs without actually killing them. You want to gather as much as possible. I like to pull them all in 2 big pulls. I pull 1 to the graves, so when you get to the graves you just want to loot them all and spawn the mobs just to get more mobs in here, right? You don't want to kill them, you just want to loot the graves to get them all grouped up. Dun, 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 dun. Once you have them grouped up, you just AoE them down like so. Booyah, and profit, man. And you want to do the same thing with the second half of the instance. Just run through, pull what you can. You got to be fast and efficient, so you don't want to take too much time. So you pull the second group and you just kind of break line of sight here. Let them all group up. If you have a trinket on you, or if you're a druid, you can stop the polymorph effects. But I usually only get poly like once per instance. And yeah, once you're out of poly, you just AoE them down, just like so. Boom. And they all die. Rip, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. So you can see we got 3 crochet hats, which on my server sell for about 200 gold a piece. Globally about 100. A bunch of 200, 400. This ring sells for 5 grand on my server apparently. Globally it sells for about 1k. So we did all this on like this is just one run, right? 200 transmog, 200 gold transmog, 200 gold transmog, right? So you can see all the different those are funny looking. You can see all the different transmogs you can get, lock boxes, you can get mage weave cloth here, and you can just see like just a hodgepodge mixed bag of stuff. So it's kind of like you get a little bit of everything in this type of instance. And this isn't my main farm, but I'd like to add this, you know, to my kind of farming routine, right? Like once or twice a day, and then, you know, move on to something else. The second way you can farm Zilpha Rock is to fly over the instance and go to the steps of all the little trolls. So as you can see, they spawn right here on the steps, and you literally farm them like so, and you pretty much get a never-ending supply. Infinite troll farm spot here. Obviously druids are the king of this kind of thing right now, and yeah, so it's pretty much infinite because you can use server hop, right? Cross realm assist, server hop, X realm, all that kind of stuff that you have. This is just a great way to be out in the world and to farm things. So yeah, this is the Zilpha Rock transmog farm. So for the first one we had a pet farm slash crafting material farm. For the second one we had a transmog, a mid-range kind of a farm. And for this one, this is Firelands. A lot of you know about this already, but I'm gonna include it because this is literally the best just gold farm I found. Now, if you're a new player, you're gonna have trouble soloing the bosses. Like, don't listen to what people are telling you, man. The bosses are not that easy, right? You're gonna need like knowledge, skill, and a little bit of gear level to handle it. So what I like to do as a newly returned player to the game is just to kill the trash. Just come in here, kill the trash. You'll have an easy time. Any level 100 can do it if you just kill the trash. And you'll walk in, you'll get a quick 1,000 plus gold, and you can do it on all your alt characters, and it'll just be a breeze. Set it to 25-man heroic, okay? You just jump in here. This does reset once per week, so you can only do this, you know, one time per week, but it's just a quick way to get gold on all your characters. So you just pretty much face roll all these dudes. They can't really mess with you with your leveling gear or your boosted gear or whatever gear that you left off on. Give it a try. Come in here, kill some stuff, get some loot, and you won't be disappointed. A lot of people use this. This is one of the better raw gold farms that there is in game. Mount Hyjal Firelands raid. Alright guys, number 4, Oldham. Oldham is my 4th favorite spot. And you can get tons and tons of transmog items like the miner's hat, the shovel, just really sick high value transmog items. 50 to 200k. Like, this is why like I'm not really covering the amount of gold you'll get per hour, because it really does vary. Like, some runs I'll get like, you know, 3k, and some runs I'll get upwards to 50, 60k. It literally depends on RNG. You can hit big with one of those big ticket items like I was saying, but it really depends. You know, it's kind of like test your luck kind of a thing, okay? So pretty much what you want to do here is you want to do one big pull, kind of like Zilpha Rock, right? Kind of like ZF. You just want to run through the instance, pull a bunch of mobs, get them together, AoE them down, and you'll profit, yeah. Again, I think Druid is like the best farming character throughout the entire game. And unfortunately, I don't have a druid that's leveled on this account. On my old account, I did, but yeah, rip. So I'm sure a lot of you guys don't have druids either, especially if you're just returning to the game. So a lot of people will tell you to level 1, but I just don't think it's efficient unless you're going to play druid in the expansion. I mean, if you think about all the time you're going to spend leveling, you could have better served that by actually farming gold. You know, you could have probably farmed like 1,000,000 gold by the time you get to max level and get through Draenor and everything like that, right? Worst case scenario, you end up with gold or a druid. Both are good choices, right? Both are great choices. You obviously want to make sure you full clear the instance, and especially kill the boss at the end, because you do get this little chest with some greenies. Bing, bing, bing. Right? So just from these 3, that's 100 gold. That sells for about 85 gold. And then this Brigade Gauntlets of the Bear, this sells for about 320 globally. On my server, it sold for 500 gold. So yeah, it's a great instance for those mid-level transmogs that nobody's really putting on the auction house right now. It's just super sick overall. Like, everyone's gonna need all this stuff, you know what I mean? Transmogs are gonna be just a huge market when Legion hits, so it's good for all of us to learn, you know what I mean, the system now and what kind of everybody's looking for in advance. Alright guys, now the fifth and final thing that I like to farm is Tome of Illusions. Now you can't actually farm Tome of Illusions yet in the game, but you can look at the recipe list and you can farm the crafting materials for that. Now there's lots of information out there on Tome of Illusions, but it's basically a way that you can apply the old world enchants to your weapon, kind of like the wardrobe system. So if you want like fiery weapon on whatever weapon you want, you just instantly put it on there for the effect, for the visual effect. And so there's Tome Illusions Azeroth, Outland, Northrend, and so forth. And these things are going to be highly sought after. And this is one of the major reasons why I farmed the Essence of Undeath, like we talked about in the #1 farming one, right? So I know this isn't exactly a farm, but I actually farm a lot of these materials. Like a lot of the essences you can find. You can snipe them off the auction house, or you can go out in the world and find them if you're bored. If you're like me, I like to vary my gameplay as much as possible. Sorry, this is kind of a bright monitor. There we go. Sometimes I'll say like, okay, well, where do I find primal mana, right? So you probably find that in Outland. So then I would search on YouTube, what's the best place to farm primal mana and so forth, and I would farm that way. So this is my fifth farm, but it's very encompassing. Like, all these materials are going to be used, and I can't really see them going anywhere because every single player is going to want a Tome of Illusions, like all the Tome of Illusions eventually, right? Like, somebody might settle on one of them, and then later on they might want the Draenor, Tome of Illusions, or the Shadowpan, etc, etc. So this is an amazing thing you can farm, and you can't go wrong with it, in my opinion, for Legion. Like, worst case scenario, they'll be used for other crafting materials, right? So not just for Tome of Illusions, for other things in the game that people still craft and sell in the auction house. Alright guys, that's going to be all for me today. If you get a second, consider hitting that sub button down below, or following me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. I've been streaming Diablo and World of Warcraft together, mostly gold farming stuff until the expansion drops. Then we'll be doing PvP/gold farming. I'm not so much into raiding right now. If you want to see me act a fool, I'm going to be unboxing right here. And if you want to check out some Overwatch is the third game that I play right now. And I'm all about numbers today, right? And I covered Anna's new skins, gameplay, and abilities on the side right there. But I think that's going to be all for me today. Expect more WoW content trickling in the future as I get my hands on Legion. And yeah, if you guys want to also join our guild, we're playing on Hyjal Horde. And that's going to be all for me today, guys. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.